Hello and welcome to Master Jacko. This video is following on from our last video, but we are factorising instead of expanding. So factorising is the inverse or the opposite of expanding. So we are putting into brackets compared to multiplying out the brackets. So this lesson, we've got some start questions on general factorising into single brackets. Then we've got a few examples over here. Then we're going to do some exam style questions, okay, over here. Yeah, what it would look like, this type of question in an exam. So let's get us started. Let's go on to our starter questions here. So pause the video and have a go at these questions over here. So pause it, have a minute, have a go. Okay, so you should pause it and have a go. Right then, what you're going to try and do this one, your thought process is, what number is the highest common factor that's in 20 and in 10. So the biggest number that goes to 20 and in 10. And that number is going to be the outside of the bracket. And in this one, it is 10. And then how many 10s are in 20? That is 2. And you have an M there, so you can put an M. And how many 10s are in 10? That is 1. And that is your answer. And to check that, if you do 10 multiplied by 2M, you get 20. And 10 times 1 is 10. Right, second one, biggest number that goes into 8 and 10 is 2. I'll say 4 then, but it is 2. And that is 4m plus 5. Then the next one, slightly different on C. Now these terms, the biggest number that goes to 14 and 18 is 2. However, now they both have a P in them, at least one. It could be any letter, X, Y, Z, it doesn't matter, okay? I like to vary it up. So they both have a P, so that's going to go on the outside. That's what they both share and have in common. Then you open the bracket, and now how many 2s are in 14? That is 7. And then P, because P multiplied by P would be P squared, just like X times X is X squared, and so on. Right, and then how many 2s are in 18? That is 9. Okay, because 2P times 9 is 18P. Okay, that's why there's no P after the 9. Right, and the next one, the biggest number that goes into 26 and 12 is 2 again. It's not always 2, just to clarify, it can change, okay? Oh, and they both share a term of A, so let's go on the outside. How many 2s in 26? That is 13. And then an A. How many 2s in 12? That is 6. I almost put a plus then. And because it is a minus, so be really careful because there's a negative there. So I'll make sure you put a negative there. So 2A multiplied by 13A is 26A squared. Then 2A multiplied by minus 6, be careful, negatives, is minus 12. In an exam, these are probably 1 mark each. Maybe, yeah. Maybe this one could be 2 marks because it's a little bit different, a bit trickier, but generally 1 mark, a lot of these will be. Okay, so now let's go into example, the main difference now, because this is 2 brackets, okay. That's going to expand in, that's going to be factorised into. So, do you want to pause the video, have a go at these 4 questions, or at least write them down and leave some space underneath them. Okay, so you'll pause it and have a little go. Right then, so your thought process now is what 2 numbers, let me zoom out a little bit so you see me, what 2 numbers multiply to make 12, but then when you add them together, you get 8. That's what you're thinking, okay? What 2 numbers multiply to make 12, when you add them, you get 8. And in this example, so actually, if you're not sure how to do this, what I like to do is write out the factors. So I'm not going to do this every single example because it'll take the video going on for an hour, right? But what numbers go into 12? So that is 1 and 12. These are your factors that multiply to make 12. 2 and 6 and 3 and 4. And there's no other numbers that multiply to make 12. Now, of those numbers, which pair of numbers add to make 8? Well, 1 plus 12 is 13, so it's not that one. 2 plus 6, that is 8, and that works, okay? 3 plus 4 is 7, which doesn't. And then you just write your answer like so. So it'll be x plus 2, and then x plus 6, okay? And that is it. You could write that the other way around. You could write x plus 6 first, x plus 2. It doesn't matter, okay? It's exactly the same. Right, now this one. So now, be careful because you have this minus 15. So you're thinking now, what 2 numbers multiply to make minus 15, when you add them get 2. What I'll do, I won't think about the negative as much, I'll just think about 15. So what numbers multiply to make 15? So 1 and 15 and 3 and 5. And now think about positive and negatives. Well, 1 and 15, you can't make 2 from that at all. Whichever one's positive and negative, it just won't work. Whereas 3 and 5, you can. They have a difference of 2. But you've got to think, how am I making a positive 2 with 3 and 5? And that is 5 minus 2. So then when you write it here, it'll be m, be careful, it's not always x, m plus 5, and then m minus 3. Yeah, because 5 multiplied by minus 3 would make you minus 15. 5 subtract 3 would get 2. And that is it for that one. Right, next one. So example 3. See how to go with this one. So 28, you factors. So you got 1 and 28, 2 and 14, 3 doesn't, 4 and 7. Right, how are we making 3 now? So all these pairs multiply to make 28, but which ones can I get 3? And that'll be using 4 and 7. So then p, and it will be plus 4, and then p minus 7. Because 4 minus 7 will get minus 3, p multiplied by p squared, and then 4 multiplied by minus 7 will get minus 28. So yeah, just be careful when you've got these negatives. These always catch students out, okay, negatives. They'll do the hard part and they'll lose on the negatives. These can be 2 marks, these questions. In an exam, this could be 2 marks. Right then, let's move on to example 4. So yet again, just do all your factors of 6. So you got 1 and 6, 2 and 3. How am I making 5? It's going to be using, well, you could technically do it with a few different ones, but generally 2 and 3 in this one would definitely make it, okay? So, but be careful, it's a positive 6. So, we've got this way, you've got to know that a negative multiplied by another negative makes a positive. So it'll be x minus 2, and then x minus 3. And that would make that, okay? Right, just what I've been thinking, why can't you use 1 and 6? Because you can make 5 with that. So be careful, because 1 minus 6 would make minus 5. However, that's a positive 1. Yeah, and that's a negative 6. And if you do 1 multiplied by minus 6, that would equal minus 6. So that's where, even though you can make a 5 with 1 and 6, they wouldn't multiply to make the positive 6. And that's why you have to use 2 and 3, because it works both ways, okay? Right. Now I've added some examples. Let's do some GCSE style of questions, and this is where how it might look in an exam. Okay, so you'll see it something like this. This is exam language, right? So if you want to pause the video and have a go first, see what you can do. Okay, so GCSE exam style question, or an A exam, doesn't matter where around the world, I'm sure it's written like this. It has the word factorize. It basically means put into brackets. So you can see you've got A's. All you'll be doing, what numbers multiply to make 36? So you've got 1 and 36, 2 and 18. In an exam, when you're panicking, I'd always write them all out, okay? It just makes your life easier. 3 and 12, 4 and 9. And then that is all of them. And then which of those pairs add together to make 15? And you can see 3 and 12 do. So your answer, make sure you use the original letter, A plus 3, and then, oh, I almost put X then. And then it would be A plus 12. Done, 2 marks. Right, next one. So now, if you want to have a go, pause it and I've got this one. Okay, so 28, write 28, 128, 2 and 14. No, so we're going to write them all, but I feel like you're going to benefit more by me writing them all out. And then 4 and 7. And how am I going to make 3? Well, that's going to be using 7 and 4. So this answer will be, whoop. So over here, you'll be doing n, and that'll be plus 7, and then n minus 4. 7 minus 4 will be positive 3. 7 multiplied by minus 4 will get minus 28. Right, next 2. So if you want to pause the video, have a go at those 2. Yeah, so you can do those 2 before I go through them. Okay, so you should pause it now to go, see how many marks you can get. Oh, in terms of marks as well, like with these ones, if you can get some of them, so if you got maybe one of these brackets, that generally would be 1 mark. Okay, and that's where the 2 marks comes from. Obviously 2 marks if you get everything. Right, so this one. So you're thinking what gets 36, and this is similar to what we had before, but slightly different numbers. 2 and 18, 3 and 12, 4 and 9. But you have to make 13 this time. I think it was making 15 in the last one. So then it was x. And now how am I going to make 13? It's going to be 2 negatives. So it's going to be x minus 4 and then x minus 9. Remembering that a negative multiplied by another negative would make a positive number, okay? And that's how you get that one. Right, 2 to go. So then, n brackets, I'm jumping the gun here, right, my ends already. Right, so we've got 18, 1 and 18, 2 and 9, 3 and 6, and that is it. Now, how am I going to make 3 with those? Well, 6 and 3, isn't it? So it's going to be, so this one will be n plus 3 and n minus 6. Right, the last one. I haven't given an example on this one, but just to see what you can do. Okay, so if you want to pause it, have a go for it. Okay, so obviously in this one, you've got a square number, 49 is a square number. So you need to think what number multiplied by itself makes 49, but actually it also cancels itself out. Yeah, there's no like x in the middle of any of this one. It's not x squared plus something x minus 49. It's just what number multiplies by itself, but then also when you add them together, it makes 0. And that, for this one, this way knowing your square numbers helps, is 7. So x plus 7, and then x minus 7. Because 7 subtract 7 would be 0, and 7 multiplied by minus 7 would give you minus 49. Okay, so this is expanding quadratic expressions, okay? Hopefully you've gained loads of knowledge from this and a load of practice. If you need more practice, go back to the video and have a look through. Take care, and I'll see you next time.